Hello everyone, my name is Mao, and today I'll be talking about three key strategies for expanding a business internationally using Starbucks as an example. I chose this topic because during my internship, I had a chance to work on a project related to international business expansion, and seeing how Starbucks applied this strategy in their world scenarios really inspired me, and I thought it would be valuable to share that experience with you today. So here is our table of contents, and we will start with a brief introduction about Starbucks, then cover cultural adaptation, cover three main strategy of international markets, which is cultural adaptation, partnership, and ethical branding. So, why do you think many companies try to expand their business in international markets? Actually, many companies face saturated domestic market and look abroad for growth opportunity. However, expanding international comes with challenges like cultural differences and local regulations. Starbucks is a great example of a company that has successfully navigated these challenges. So, Starbucks history overview. So, Starbucks was founded in Seattle in 1971, and they opened their first store outside of North America in Tokyo in 1996, then expanded to Istanbul, Turkey in 2003, and Sao Paulo, Brazil in 2006. So first main strategy to expand their business internationally is cultural adaptation. And so what is cultural adaptation? So adjusting products and marketing to fit local culture and preference. So why is it crucial? Because it helps companies gain customer trust and succeed in new markets. And in fact, when Starbucks expanded in the foreign markets, it adjusts and modifies its products. Yeah. So cultural adaptation in Japan. So what do you think about Japanese culture? So actually, Japanese culture has really deep tradition, especially with tea, such as sencha and matcha, and they are deeply rooted in society. And also there is a huge generation gap in Japan. So older generation often prefer traditional tea, while younger people enjoy trendy, Instagrammable drinks. So Starbucks analyzed this feature and adapted in its business. And Starbucks adapted by introducing matcha drinks and acknowledging the strong tea culture. And they also bridged the generation gap by offering trendy limited edition drinks like Halloween bowl frappuccino. As you can see, this frappuccino looks so quirky, right? And because younger people are sensitive to the new trend. So what about Turkey? So in Turkey has a long, rich coffee tradition, and Turkish coffee dates back to the Ottoman Empire, and it's sometimes prepared with a small pot and often brewed in an oval frame in a modern way. But there is another way, traditional way, with on the sun like this. And coffee culture means social connection, or even fortune telling with coffee drinks for Turkish people. So as a example, Starbucks analyzed this feature and then adapt by creating spaces where customers can stay longer and build social connection, adding more like seating and terrace to reflect the local, coffee house culture. And for instance, they open store in Istiklal Street in Turkey, and as you can see, there are many like table or chairs in both outside and inside of store, and it reflects and respect the Turkish culture of hospitality and community gathering. So what about Brazil? Actually, Brazil is the world's largest coffee producer, and it produces both Arabica and Robusta coffee beans. And coffee culture is actually like they have a private, like personally, like coffee culture, which is called Fafezinho, and this is a small, strong, and sweet coffee. And it's sometimes paired with snacks like pão de queijo, which is cheese like this one, and cozinho, and this is a chicken cloque, and this one. So Starbucks analyze this feature, and Starbucks offer local foods, pão de queijo and cozinha, and Brazil uses 100% Brazilian Arabica beans and Starbucks Brazil brand. It also promotes pausado cafezinho, coffee break culture. So as you can see, this menu is like really unique, and they adapt the culture, like Brazil like specific culture. So secondly, partnership with local companies. So what is a partnership? It is a business arrangement where two or more companies work together and sharing resources, risk, and profits. So there are a few advantages, and the company gain access to local knowledge and networks, and they can share risk and costs by collaborating with another company, and it allows them to faster market entry. And also there are some disadvantages, because there is potential conflicts between partners and issues like control and profits. There might be kind of conflicts between them, and culture or management differences. And there are many types of partnerships. But today I'm going to introduce joint venture and license agreement. So Starbucks use joint venture when it enter into Japanese market. So definition of joint venture is two or more companies create a new entity to collaborate and share resources, knowledge, money, risk, and profits. So it actually entered via 50-50 joint venture with Sazabi League. It shares financial operation risk and learned local culture and business system. It occurred for ownership in 2004, and now there are over 2,000 stores in Japan. And Sazabi League is a company that sells of household goods and clothing as well as operation of restaurant. Starbucks use license agreement when it enter into Turkish and Brazilian markets. And definition of license agreement is a contract where one company licensee can use another brand's logo, produce products or technology, and licensee pays royalty to the license. So for Turkey, it entered with license agreement with Alshore Group, Kuwait, and Alshore managed operation, hiring, investment, and it allowed fast, expansion with low risk, and it is still operated by Alshore, and there are 700 over stores in Turkey. And the same as Brazil and Starbucks use license agreement that Cafeteria do Brazil. It occurred through ownership in 2010, and right now, Jump is operating Starbucks in Brazil. So ethical branding and fair trade. So what is the ethical branding? It is companies show they act responsibly, such as eco materials, no animal testing, or like CO2 reduction. And also it builds consumer trust and positive brand image. So on the other hand, what is fair trade? It ensures producers in developing countries receive like fair pay, and it promotes safe working conditions and eco-friendly practice. And common produce that is promote fair trade as coffee, cocoa, or cotton. And some of you know about this logo, and this is a logo of fair trade. And if you see this logo on your product, you can learn that your product is consider of like workers' condition and like eco-friendly materials. And so according to the 2024 PwC research, customer is actually willing to pay 10% more for sustainable products. So Starbucks is actually introduced like its own fair trade, which is called corporate practice in 2004, and focusing on fair wages and environment care. And by 2022, 99% of its coffee was ethically sourced, which increased trust from customers. And so Starbucks, by Starbucks making like introducing this fair trade, customers can feel they are buying by like buying Starbucks products. Customers can feel they are doing great thing. So it kind of involves kind of psychological fear as well. So in conclusion, cultural adaptation, partnership, and ethical branding are the keys to international success. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. And by the way, I am actually Japanese, and I am actually drinking matcha tea latte, which is promoted in Starbucks in Japan, and I really love it. So I'm really like inspired the specific strategy by like Starbucks, and yeah, I really appreciate you this to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.